At industrial baking scale, consistency is not optional. When the world's largest bakery evaluated their control system, they realized their existing Scada platform could not support the clarity and stability their operation needed. Electromechanica stepped in to rebuild the system, replacing complexity with a structure the plant could maintain and extend. The rebuild began at the foundation. Electromechanica rebuilt the environment on VTScada, bringing data, communications, and visibility into one coherent system.
When I arrived at Bimbo for the first time, I actually arrived there with a passion for the bakery industry. With my 2 years experience in implementing SCADA systems and automation systems in the bread industry, I had a good feel of the requirements of a factory like Bimbo. Hence, when I walked into the office, looked at the SCADA system, I could see straight away that the system they had wasn't fulfilling the needs.
The SCADA software that we had, that was lacking. It was just all over the show, and I couldn't just do something simple. It took me too much time.
Essentially, the project that we helped Bimbo with was a transition from the existing system that they had, acknowledging some shortcomings on the existing system, taking note of what they want to change and what makes sense for them as a business, translating those needs into a technology solution via VTScada.
With the foundation rebuilt, the system began to make more sense. Clutter was reduced, naming was standardized, and screens followed a consistent hierarchy. The result was a system engineers could step into and understand immediately.
When I started out with our SCADA system, I looked at the system and I was trying to figure out what exactly are they trying to achieve. It's something so simple, but it's so difficult. It shouldn't be like this at all. Why is there no structure to this? It's not easy to understand something when everything is all over the show. I came to the point and I had to ask myself the question, why do I have to struggle like this?
During my sales visit at Bimbo, I noticed that the SCADA that I had on the system looked very incomplete, and to me there were data points missing and the dashboard looked fairly cluttered. I said to Ethan, would you mind me demonstrating VTScada? And while I was busy with that, he took a telephone call and something's caught his attention. He said, but how did you implement that so quickly?
I was looking at him and I couldn't believe how quick and easy it was just for him to demo. By doing this is how I can animate how fast the fan is going and slowing it down. Just to emulate something, but also presenting it so quickly.
So I said, it's all built-in building blocks within VTScada. What the existing SCADA system did not have was built-in building blocks, engineering blocks that's there, ready to use, ready to deploy. The previous SCADA system, you had to go and engineer all of that. You had to go and write scripting, all background scripting. The next big problem that came in, by writing your background scripting, you that's doing it, you're the only one that has got control and only one being able to manage that in future. There again, VTScada's built-in building blocks is the key.
I got off the phone and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I don't know what I would have to do in my SCADA package to just do that. Probably take me days to do that.
Then he mentioned that he's got a dashboard he'd like to show me with his plant and the grid, the temperature and humidity grids. That's quite a complex grid, and the coding behind it, it's way too complex for him to implement with this old SCADA system they have. I then opened up the VTScada, collected that built-in block from VTScada, and within about 5-10 minutes, I had that dashboard up and running. Ethan was then blown away by VTScada, and he said he can't believe it's that easy to implement.
I got introduced to VTScada and I saw the simplicity of the visuals that you can use, the symbols and the graphics also, that makes it easier for someone to relate to any equipment. It's going to make life easier for us as a maintenance team in monitoring our systems.
The factory is there to provide a certain output. The workers are there to do the work to get the output done, but without consolidated management of those workers, they're disjointed. They're not able to fulfill and efficiently do what they're there to do.
In a working bakery, commissioning happens alongside production. The new VTScada environment was introduced while the line continued to run. The factory did not miss a beat.
We work in a lot of mission-critical applications, And for our customers, their product or produce is mission critical. If the oven or bakery, for example, isn't running, then it's not producing the produce. So you're losing production, you're losing downtime. It's deferred production, I guess. You're still having to pay all the staff, but you're not actually making any product.
In a manufacturing environment, things doesn't go smooth at all, even though we want to try to get it to work as efficient as possible. So when we have a breakdown, we want to understand what happened. I need to go look at data.
I could see shortfalls, the quality of the product, productivity is at risk with the system they currently had. That was based on just my experience and my knowledge from implementing SCADA systems at previous bakeries.
With the new system in place, daily work became clearer. Operators could see what was happening, and engineers could trace issues back to the source. Troubleshooting moved from guesswork to visibility.
I always say data accessibility, that's one of the most crucial stuff for us to analyze and see what's happening inside of the plant. We had a breakdown once on our HPD is a bun divider. The guy told me, listen, I have an issue on the one port of the bun divider. Went on to the SCADA and I saw that the capacity, it was running at a very high capacity. I'm just gonna have a look at the motor, see if there's an issue on it. He said he saw that it is potentially the gearbox. So he was immediately able to identify just by going onto the system and see that specific port.
VTScada is a built-in historian, and you can group certain parameters, and at the touch of a button you can see what you want to see. This page is strictly for the gauges and the graphics on there. We'll have a dedicated page for the historian where you can see all of the historical data. Another thing that we saw, there was a lot of clutter. So we tried to really make it less busy, because being on a plant floor, having a breakdown, you've got people panicking, you really do miss a lot of things. So we try to make it as clear and concise as possible so that whoever is trying to troubleshoot has a much easier time of doing it.
Things like the native historian within VTScada, bad actor reports that you can use within the software to identify repeated offenders within certain alarms that you see within a factory, without you having to spend a lot of time and deep diving into exactly what happened on a nut and bolt level. The software is already built to help you understand that, to inform decisions on maintenance, to inform decisions to promote uptime of the factory and ensure effective production and throughput.
It's accessible for anyone that's in the production area, so you can work and go into your screens and go and deep delve into the different systems without affecting another system.
We want to build a system for them that they could have the peace of mind that when Ethan steps away from the plant, or Shadley, that they don't have to worry and think that there's going to be an explosion while they're not there. I think we tried not to veer too much from the original design. We want to still keep that sense of familiarity for them. We actually look at it from the perspective of saying this system has been running for X amount of years, and we need to make it as familiar as possible to what they had in order for daily operations to still commence.
Ultimately, you want to make sure that whenever you're building a system like this, it is a touch point to the technology that you've got within the factory. Through SCADA, it should make it intuitive enough for you that doesn't matter what your background is, whether you're an engineer or an artisan or an operator within a factory, you need to have the same view of the situation, the same amount of input into the situation within your sphere of concern, obviously. On the other side of it, if you need more advanced data, that simplistic interface needs to provide you the data that you need as well. As a plant engineer, if you want to deep dive into something, if you want to understand why a machine failed at a certain point in time,
What was built here becomes a starting point for what comes next. For Bimbo, it provides a model ready to deploy at additional sites. The same framework can be adapted wherever reliable control matters.
Any person in the bakery industry will tell you, if your mixing's not right, you've got a bad product. If your proof is not right, you're not going to solve a problem through your baking. Your bread's going to flop. So these are all critical steps all the way through. So with SCADA, you're not just looking at the complete system, you're looking at every stage, from your ingredients through to your mixing, running through to your sheeting of your dough, your forming of your dough, through to your proofer plant, your ovens, and so forth.
A good analogy for Trihedral and VTScada in general is each individual machine in a factory can be seen as a worker within that factory. VTScada acts as a manager in between all of those. It hears the voices of the people, it understands the needs of the people, it understands the goal and brings that together to do a consolidated effort to get to the final product that you want at the end of the day.
To coalesce all of that data together and have that tied together, so be able to report over the entire infrastructure system, but build it up from small components and simplified components that isolate the control and monitoring to those sections.
So a big thing that we tried to do here was the dashboarding. VTScada does have the functionality to become an API for different data analytics tools such as Power BI or SQL databases. And we want to make it sort of a one-stop shop for you to be able to do all of that data analytics within VTScada. So I think the future of VTScada is building already on the foundation that we already have, but then also adding sufficient dashboarding functionality as well as other particular tools for specific industries.
I can access it, but rather that the plant manager, he can go in and have immediate access. He doesn't have to go look there and there to have something simple. The biggest thing for me is for everyone to have accessibility to it and knowing how to navigate the system.
With Scada, you're not just looking at the complete system, you're looking at every stage. Each and every stage needs parameters where it's going to flag you, not when it's an alarm, but when it's hitting a critical stage before that alarm. Hence, a package like VTScada can flag you immediately on when those parameters start shifting out of bounds.
Better visibility, faster decisions, real operational control. That's what VTScada delivers with the right partner. Connect with Electromechanica and our certified partner network at em.co.za.